back to Dragon Tails Fishing. So I got another good video for you guys today. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna take you through a walkthrough of my Titan X by Native. And I'm gonna take you on a walkthrough of my buddy's kayak, Chris, who has a Hobie Pro Angler. I believe it's a 2013. And we did a few modifications to it. We did a couple upgrades to it. So I wanna show those off and kind of go over two things on those kayaks that have something in common. They both have the Torqu 1103. One has the ultralight and the other has the model last year. So I want to kind of show those two off, kind of see what the differences is, and also just kind of show off kayaks. So let's go ahead and do that. And before we do, check out the wall. Yes, I put it on there before. We own a company called Skinny Water Lures. Check them out, bam. Right there, we got a whole wall of lures right there. We got all matters of soft plastics, from curly tails to paddle tails to grubs. I've got hard baits. I've got top waters. I've got slow sinking twitch baits. I've got sinking baits. And we also sell jig hits. I don't know if you can see that there, right in the background there. Yep, right there. So yeah, we've got a bunch of stuff there, products on there. I'll leave a link to our website down below. Show us some love and get you a couple packs. We're also going to show some discounts on there in the next few weeks. So check those out and get you some packs. Catch redfish. We catch redfish, trout, snook, flounder, any matters of inshore species we like to catch. We fish in a lot of shallow water, so you won't see any fish finders on my kayak or anything like that. I have nothing against the live scope guys. I have nothing against stuff like that, but I just don't need them in a foot of water. You know, when you see the tailing redfish, that's a good sign that you probably should throw your lure that way. And that's what we do. So let's go ahead and check out these two kayaks now. And yeah, let's have a good time. Real quick, I got two kayaks sitting right here. One's my buddy Chris, and he's got his modifications that are all done on those for his tournament series this year. And the Native Titan X. As you can see, I've got that bad boy there on a custom trailer. We're gonna talk about all that right now. First up is we got the Hobie Pro Angler. It's a older version. I believe it's a 2013, like I said before. And he's done a few modifications to it. He's upgraded the bungees a little bit here. He's got the H-rail on the front. That's kind of a new modification that he's done there. What I did was I took his original mount here. I took his ball mount off so that he could put his camera here facing him. He may actually change that later. But I actually put his landing net holder right here. Check it out. There you go. I put his landing net holder right there so he could put his net there. He has a different net, so he might move this as well. But going back, we also have this is a stakeout pole. It's not a power pole mount. This one does float. So I added this on here with his accessories that he had purchased. And I also added another one of those in the back. Now these are made by Kayak Accessories. You can get these mounts on their website. They make some really good product there. Very few modifications there. You can see he's got his Torqu 1103. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. A little in-depth view of the Titan X though. The Titan X, I've had it about a month. I bought it brand new. It's a 2025. Bought the trailer brand new. It's also a 2025. So what I did was I took two kayaks that I had and I sold them on Marketplace, and I took the money and said, I'm gonna buy a brand new kayak. I only need one for the year. So this is the kayak that I decided to go with after all my research. I decided to get away from the Hobies, not because I don't like them, but I just wanted a change. I had Hobies for many years, probably since about 2019. No, actually before that, because I had the Hobie Outback before that. And then I got the Pro Angler 360 after that. So then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna get a new kayak for the year. And this is the kayak that I decided to go with based on everything that I loved about the Pro Angler. I wanted to get this. Now I was gonna get Bonafide's XTR 130, but I decided not to because of one reason and one reason only. That boat is only meant to be motorized or paddled. I ain't paddling nothing. I don't have a very good shoulder. I'm hurting myself right now just holding this camera up. So I like my pedal drives. I can pedal a kayak pretty good, and I need to have that extra propulsion. So I can put a motor on the XTR, But the problem was you can't put a pedal drive on it. So therefore, when I go to these tournaments that are not allowing, which there are still some, we're hoping that they change that sometime in the near future. But I know that a certain series this year, they're not going to change their rules this year, especially for a couple guys that have motors. And I understand that, and that's great. I abide by the rules, and yeah, I'll still have fun in that tournament pedaling my kayak instead of motorizing. So let's go ahead and get into this kayak right here, and I'm going to show you through it. First thing I'm going to start off with is the cradle it's sitting on. It's Chariot. This is a 2025 B&B Continental trailer, and it's all aluminum. I wanted a really light trailer for my kayak. I don't want to have to pull a whole bunch of weight for no reason. Plus, I decided this year I'm going to I wasn't going to get the landing gear, which we're going to talk about that in a few minutes, but I was just going to trailer it, and then decided to go ahead and get that while I could. But I bought the trailer because I wanted to be able to just, you know, slide her into the water, and it is a big night and day difference. I pull up to the ramp, I put my rods in, I put all my stuff on, I back it up, and this is where we're going to start at the beginning of the kayak. So right here in the front, you know, of course you got your nice handle here. I've got a nice handle made with 550 cord. This was actually purchased off of Facebook. I've had it a few years, and it's been on a couple kayaks, which is really good for when I'm just trying to grab it up, get through some moisture beds or whatnot. I also added a long rope. I mean, this rope is probably, let's see if I can look at it real quick. I mean, it's long. It's probably 20 feet long. So whenever I actually launch the kayak off the trailer, I just push it off and let it float away, and then I pull it back off to the side with the rope. Next little upgrade has also been on a few of my kayaks, and hey, I am not sponsored by anybody. Every bit of the products that you see on this kayak, I purchased out of my own pocket with my own money that I worked hard for. Not from the business or anything like that. This is coming from straight from my pocket, from my paycheck. So the first thing I added was this Guardian light. I've got two of them. They're magnetic and are on a leash, and it's also attached with 3M tape right to the deck, so I can actually take it off. This one's got the red and green, as you can see that, kind of like your marker lights. I also have another one which is all white, and I can switch that from here to there, wherever I want it. Going back even further, you've seen a lot of these the videos out there already on the Titan, so I'm not going to go over, you know, the features of the kayak, just what my upgrades were. So what I did was I took a Yak Attack ball. I guess this is like the dog bone or whatever. It's a 1-inch ball, and I attached it right here. There's actually a spot that this goes into with a 1/4-20 screw, and then I added this. And then this right here, if you can see here, it says Insta360, was a selfie stick that actually came with the Insta360. So of course I bought the Insta360, and this is the X4 version. So it does 8K video, 5K, 4K, 1080p. I mean, it does some really cool stuff. I get some really good videos with that. Something I forgot to add was both kayaks have this right here. Check this out. Protecting the nose of your kayak is very important. We ride up on a lot of boat ramps, so we ride up to the boat ramps, and to protect that nose of the kayak is very, very important. You got to protect your kayak and protect the investment that you have. This right here is a Burley Pro. This is a keel guard. Beautiful, beautiful accessory right here, and it's a must-have for the type of fishing we have. I have that on that kayak, but right there, you can, not only do I have it on the other kayak, but I also have it on this kayak as well. So the Titan has a keel guard. This right here is a must-have if you're gonna fish the type of fishing areas that we fish. Going back a little bit further, I added the Yak Attack small boxes, the little short boxes that you got. I know everybody's got those on their kayaks, but I use them as well. So inside the first box, I just keep some extra jig heads. I've got some Torqu, and I also got a headlight that I keep in here as well. It's a USB, really cheap light. On the other side, I have just like my gloves, maybe an extra top water, some more scent. I usually keep my face mask in there, little things like that. I also upgraded the pedals on here as well. I wanted to have some swag, so I added some anodized aluminum pedals. These were off of Amazon. They're called the K-Pec or something, I don't know. K-Pec pedals, really nice pedals, very comfortable. I did take off the little spikes because I do barefoot quite a bit. And then I added this right here. It's just a ram mount, old style. This one's been on multiple kayaks. And this right here is a leg brace made by Leg Luggage. I don't even know if they're still in business, but I wrapped it around that right there, and it works perfectly. Put my pliers in there, put my fish grips in there and things like that. Going back, nothing really extra modified, except I added this right here, and that's actually for my catchboard. Instead of sliding it out like he does, I just put mine right here, just like so, and then strap it in. And that holds it perfectly. I've driven down the road with that thing and it hasn't moved. It's actually perfect. Then I just added this on here because I didn't have nothing else to put there. I don't actually use this that much, but in case I needed it for a second rod, it's perfect. Put this down like so, and it straps, boom, like so. Now to make this work, I had to extend these bungees, so I actually replaced these with longer ones. And under here, you can see I've got, this is actually a Scotty mount, I think. And that's just where I'm tying that. I'm actually going to change this out to another one of these so that I can pull this up. And what this is for pulling up the motor in the back. The next upgrade, this is something you're not going to see very often. And this necessary evil. So whenever I had this kayak out on the water, what would happen is I would get water gushing. I mean, gushing on the floor of the kayak, even with this in the this lid on. It has a rubber gasket and everything, and I still was getting water on the deck. My feet were getting so wet. And the only time it wouldn't do that is if the drive was in the down position. Well, the problem with that is I fish a lot of oyster beds. I fish a lot of shallow water. So the problem I'm having is every time I get into the shallow waters and I have this down and I'm using my motor, well, I'd run up against the oyster beds and it would really just mess me up. And I'm like, I'd already scarred the heck out of this plate right here on the bottom. And it you just spent a lot of money on a kayak, man. Why would you? I mean, you got to fix that. So I was like, dude, there's got to be a way to fix this. So I went on to a native site, and they have a foam block that actually goes in there. I'll show you. Right here. Hold on. Right under here. Boom. That right there is going to be exactly what it needs. It's a custom foam block that goes right in there. So you can keep your drive at home or not even have it out, or just lay it on the top of the deck like I had it earlier. And yeah, no more water's coming in on this deck. All right, going back to the back here, I have now the native Watercraft, the sidekicks. Now these came with the regular rubber tires. I'm probably going to go ahead and order the C-Tug, the ones that are not inflated, because these will probably float a little bit. But I haven't taken this out enough to actually use this yet, so I don't know if I'm going to need it. So I'm going to try that out before I buy that, because if I don't need it, I don't need to buy it. But yeah, I put the native sidekick on there, and man, it is a beautiful piece of equipment. Time will tell whether or not it's an actual really good product or not, because I bought the Boondocks landing gear for the Hobie Pro Angler 360 Great product. Now this was for my 2020. I had it from 2021 to 2024, which I just sold it this last year. And it worked flawless, no problems whatsoever. But the only gripe I had was on this part right here, not on this brand, on the Boondocks landing gear, the coating started peeling off and it was oxidizing. So whatever metal it was made from, with the salt water, it didn't do very well. So I'm hoping this one doesn't do that. So only time will tell. And yeah, that's gonna be an awesome upgrade there. Hey Bobby, why you got the sidekick on if you got the trailer and you're just gonna trailer it? Well, because there's plenty of times, especially during a tournament, that maybe I just can't get to the launch onto the boat ramp and launch my kayak, and I want to be able to just have every option available to me. I don't want to have any regrets later on. I want to be able to use this kayak however I need to use it. So with that being said, the native sidekicks was what I installed. Going back a little bit further, I've got the Kayak Attack Blackpack Pro. This is the 13 by 16, and it also has the short stack. That is the new mod that I added just in the last couple weeks. I got that one right there from Sandy Point Progressive Sports. Shout out to them. And I already had this box, so this one's been through 3 kayaks, maybe 4, and I've had that and I love it. Originally I had these rod stagers right here at an angle, but because of this short stack and opening up like it does, it made for a harder way of actually opening it up and not having the rods stuck on the back, so I couldn't put my rods on the back. So I put those 2 rod tubes straight up and down, and then I put these 2 right here. I did have 2 more, but I didn't need them at the time and I misplaced them, so I'm gonna have to order a couple more. Maybe actually put those in the front or something like that, but for now I got enough for 4 rods. On the top of the box, I added some track and I added a cargo net, and that's just so I can just slip whatever I want under there. Just a really quick, easy way of storing stuff. So yeah, that's why I got that. So there you go, Kayak Attack Blackpack Pro, baby. Now going back, I got the Torqu installed. This is the original Torqu. As you can see, I've got the original throttle cable there. I don't have the new one like Chris does. As you can see, he's got that nice Purdy one, you know, with the backlit display and all of that. I just got the old OG one. He's got the OG kayak, I've got the OG Torqu. But it is the 1103, which is the 3 horsepower model. And I also got 2 micro power poles installed on the back of this bad boy. So as you can see, that bad boy right there is ready to rock. I also, before we get back to that, I also have a camera mount right there with some Kayak Attack holders right there, so it can adjust it wherever I want. And I have the GoPro 12 right there. And I also have the external battery pack. What that allows me to do is run my camera without a battery, and it actually helps with overheating. So I don't have any overheating issues with it because that battery doesn't get hot. Also, it's got a way to plug it in, so I can plug it in and just have an external battery that I'm going to be putting on here at a later date. So that will be another upgrade to the kayak. But for now, that's what we got. Finished up the mods with a nice burner paddle there. That's the Kamano hooked paddle right there. That is an awesome upgrade right there. And you might say, Bobby, why do you need such an expensive paddle? That paddle is $370. What? No, I didn't pay $370. I actually found it on Marketplace. Originally, I went to Academy Sports and I picked up one of their carbon ones. It's made by Magellan right there, as you can see. Beautiful kayak paddle. You're upgrading by when you put the Werner one on there. That's what I did. Right there, so far, the upgrades to the kayak. So one other thing I want to talk about is the trailer. So I don't know if you can see that right there. Right there. See that? The trailers has lights on the top. That way at night, I can actually see what I'm doing and loading up my gear when I'm going to launch at the ramp. I got one there. I got one there. And hold up, we're not done yet. I added this Yakima rod storage box on the top. It's got a nice key, and I know I've showed this before, but I want to kind of show this little mod and this little upgrade here. Is there's 2 lights, LED, on the inside as well. Right there. So, yeah, I can light up the night. See what I'm doing at night in early mornings when I'm trying to get ready for these tournaments. So those lights are actually meant to go on my Jeep underneath the fender well. I decided that I don't really need it for that because I don't really do that kind of stuff anymore. Even though I love my Jeep, I figured the lights would probably work better up here when I'm doing my kayak stuff. So I put the lights here and here. They're actually connected right now to a wiring system so I can actually hook up an external battery. But I am going to rewire it here shortly so that those lights are actually, whenever I plug in the trailer, the lights are able to turn on and off, and they're all Bluetooth, which means I can control them on and off with my phone, and I can control them with their colors. I could actually make them whatever color I want. So that right there is in a nutshell. One last thing though. You remember, the first thing you need on a kayak is not a paddle. It's a life vest. Make sure you wear your PFD. This year I decided I'm going to start wearing my PFD because I really want to kind of emphasize safety out there. And I ended up buying a new vest for this year. And I bought this right here. This one is actually made by Torqu, I believe is the name of it. It's the Fisherman edition. It's got the high back so that when I'm sitting down, it actually doesn't ride on the back of my spine. It's got 2 good pockets right here for my equipment. I've installed a whistle to it as well. And yeah, I'm gonna start wearing that this year. It's what everybody preaches, safety, 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 guys. So that right there, guys, is the Native Titan X, a little walkthrough, and a little bit of a walkthrough of the OG kayak with the Torqu on that as well. So if you like what you saw there, yo, hit me up with a little like and subscribe down below. I appreciate every one of you guys. And until the next time, thank you for watching. See you on the next video.